Hey guys, Creepypasta Central here, and welcome. This is Ben Part 2. I'm not gonna say that much, but here you go. So now I'm back here writing down the rest of my thoughts and recording what's happened. Sorry if this has grammatical errors or whatnot. I'm running on no sleep here. I'm terrified of this game, even more so now that I relieved it was the second time writing this all down. But I feel like there's still more to it than meets the eye, and that's something calling to me to investigate further. I think Ben is something in this equation, but I don't know what. And if I could get a hold of this old man, then I would be able to find some answers. I need another day or so to reputate before tackling this game again. It's already taken a toll of my sanity, and I feel like, but the idea of to record only comes towards the end. So you see the last few minutes of what I saw, including the Skull Kid and the LG statue, but it's on YouTube here. I'm going to stay here in this thread for a little while longer. I fall asleep to answer any questions you guys might hope have, or hopefully listen to your ideas or theories to help me shed some light to this. Maybe things I should try to do. Think I'm going to play Ben File tomorrow to see what happens. Maybe I'm supposed to do that all along. I don't believe in paranormal shit, but this is a little fucked up. Maybe this Ben guy is just a really good hacker or programmer. I don't want to think about the alternatives if he isn't. This that's the end of the copy / paste. I'm hoping that maybe you guys had some kind of running gag. Developers had some other people gotten gagged or hacked copies of this game like this. This really scares me. Post 2, September 8th, 2010. I'm going to post what happens and link the video footage, but last night everything got too real for me. I think I'm done messing around with this. I'm passed out pretty much immediately after making that thread. But last night, the LG of emptying the statue, I had a dream about it. I dreamed that it was following me in my dreams, and I would be minding my own business. And when I feel the neck hair stand up on my end, I would turn around. That horrible lifeless statue would be staring with those empty eyes right at me, mirthfully inches away in my dream. I remember calling it Ben. I ever had a dream that I remember so vigilantly. But the important thing is that I did get some sleep, I suppose. Today, putting off playing a game as long as I could, I drove back up to the that neighborhood to see if the old man came back. As I expected, the car was still gone and no one was home. I was walking back to my car. The man next door mowing the grass killed the power to his lawnmower and asked me if I was looking for someone. I told him that I was looking for to talk to the old man that lived here. To which he told me that I already knew he was moving, trying a different avenue. I asked the old man that had any family or relatives I could talk to. I discovered that the old man had never been married, nor did he have any children or grandparents. Or grandchildren. Though adoption starting to become worried, I asked one of the final questions, one that I should have asked from the beginning. Who is Ben? The man's expression turned to a grin, and I learned that 4 doors down around 8 years ago, on April 23rd, the man informed me that it was the same day as his anniversary. That how he knew the specific date. There was an accident with a young boy named Ben in this neighborhood. Shortly after his parents moved in, despite any further attempts to talk to the man to get more information, he would have dialogued anything else. I went back and started playing again. I loaded up the game, and immediately I jumped at the title scene where the mask files by the sound that played, but it was not the normal whoosh sound. It was something much more higher pitch. I pressed start, bracing for the worst, but then, just like 2 nights ago, the file "Your Turn in Ben" was displayed. Truth be, I truth the truth be told, I looked at the Ben file earlier. It seems to be felucate between displaying the owl save and not. I brought up the save file, hesitated for a moment, noticing that the stats were not the same as they originally were 2 days ago. It seemed like he already completed the stone tower temple this time. Summoning my courage, I selected it, and immediately through I was thrust into the complete chaos. Sure enough, I was outside Stone Tower Temple, but that's about all that was expected. The zone itself wasn't called Stone Tower Temple, more than rather O-N-E. And immediately a dialogue box of complete gibberish I couldn't make out greeted me. Link's body was distorted and his back was choked violently to the side, where his posture was permanently disfigured. Link's expression was dull, almost monotonous, and had an expression on his face that I didn't recognize. Before it was a blank look, as if he was dead. As Link stood there, his body spammed ignorantly back and forth. I examined what had become my avatar and noticed I had a C button item I never seen before. Some kind of note that by pressing it did nothing. Sound played back and forth that I didn't recognize from the game, almost hypnotic in the nature. And there was some kind of high-pitched yip or some kind of laugh, some playing in another one of those fucking LG statues of emptiness statues. And I was summoned, and immediately after I was cut into Dawn of a New Day, the screen, except this time without the lines subtext. I was a dude who scrubbed in the clock tower. This scene was normally play after the first time you travel back in time. Talty would say, what just happened? As if everything has, but instead of saying started over. She finished her remark broken text as I laughed at the happy masked salesman played in the background. I wanted to put back in my control character, but from a fucked up camera angle, I was looking behind the door to this clock tower, watching my avatar run around as Dooku scrubbed, seeing as how I really had no place to go because I couldn't see anything. I begrudgingly went inside the door. There I was greeted by the happy masked salesman, who simply told me, "You met a terrible fate, haven't you?" before the screen wiped out. I was in a Termia field as a human again. I might as well not been playing the same game anymore. I was being warped around there with no sign of a day clock or anything. I took a moment to get my belongings as I looked through the field, and immediately I couldn't tell that this was not normal. There was no enemies, and a twisted version of the Happy Mask Salesman theme was playing. I decided to run towards the woodfall before I could notice the gathering of 3 figures outside my horror, where one of the Eponia. As I approached him, to my horror, I saw the Happy Mask Salesman, the Skull Kid, and an LG of Emptiness statue just standing there. I figured they were bugged out, but by now I told myself that I should have known better. Nevertheless, I approached him carefully and found that the Skull Kid was playing some kind of idle animation on loop. Same with the Eponia, and the LG of Emptiness statue was doing what it has been all along, just standing there eerily, and it was the Happy Mask Salesman that scared me more profoundly than the other two. He was too idle, wearing the same shitty grin, but wherever I moved, his head slowly turned and followed me. I am not engaged in any dialogue with him, nor was I in combat with him. Yet his head still continued to follow my movements. Reminding me of the first counter with the Skull Kid on top of the clock tower, I pulled out my ocarina, to which the game has played the ding sound when you're supposed to play your ocarina, and I tried a song I haven't played yet. The Happy Mask Salesman owned a song, and it hadn't been played on the loop back in day 4, the Song of Healing. I finished playing the song, as I did, I hear an ear-piercing shriek blasted on my television, the sky immediately started flashing, and the Happy Maskellman Twisted theme song sped up, intensifying my fear inside me. And Link exploded into flames and died, and three figures stayed lit up during my death screen as they watched my lifeless body burn. I can't describe you how sudden and terrifying the transformation from eerie to terror it is. You're going to have to watch this video if you want to see the firsthand it. That same fear that caused me to lose sleep 2 days ago to grip me again. As I met with the text, you met a terrible fate, haven't you? For the third time, there has to be some kind of meaning behind that. I had a little time to ponder, as I immediately given another small cutscene of transforming into Zora, and I found myself in Great Temple Bay. Hesitant but curious to see what game had in store for me, I slowly made my way towards the beach where I found Eponia. I wondered why the game has decided to put her here. Was the game implying she was trying to get a drink? Unable to take the mask off, I decided that riding the steed wasn't the reason she was placed there. Suddenly, I realized that Eponia kept nigh and the way she was angled made me look like she was trying to signal a point to me in the distance. It was a hunch, and I dove into the green bay and started swimming. Sure enough, I almost missed it. I found something at the bottom of the ocean. One last edgy of emptiness statue. I went down to examine it, and suddenly my Zora started to do a choking animation. I never seen a Zora do that before, which didn't make any even sense because Zoras can breathe underwater. Regardless, my character choked to death and died. And again, the statue was the only thing that was highlighted in my death. I couldn't respawn this time. I was booted back to the main menu as I restarted the console. The press start screen was before me. I knew the only reason why it would put me here is because the save files has changed again. Taking a deep breath, I pressed start, and I was right. The new save files told me about Ben. Now it made sense why the statue appeared as I tried to go into the laundry pool. The game was most eventually how I must have tried to escape the Day 4 clock town. The two save files told me his fate. As I expected, Ben was dead. He had drowned. The game obviously isn't through me. It taunts me with the new save files. It wants me to keep playing. It wants me to go further. But I'm done with this shit. I'm done touching any more of these files. This is already too horrifying for me. And I don't even bother in the paranormal. But I'm running out of explanations. Why would someone send this message? I don't understand it. I just get too depressed thinking about it. The footage is up here for those who want to see it and try to analyze it. Maybe there's some kind of coded message in the gibberish or something symbolic I went through. I'm too emotional with this mental drain to fuck with it anymore. Post 3. September 10th, 2010. I know it's early in the morning. I stayed up all night. I can't sleep. I don't care if people see this, and that's not the point. I just want to get words to spread, so I don't have to suffer for nothing. I've lost the will to type about this. The less I dwell on this, the better. I think the video speaks for itself. I did what you guys told me to do. I played an edgy of emptiness song at the band. Jesus Christ, I can't believe I'm even humoring the absurd idea that he exists in the game. Wanted me to do this, he's following me now. Not just in the game, he's in my dreams. I see him all the time behind my back, just watching me. I haven't gone to any of my classes. I stayed in my dorm room with the windows closed and the blinds shut. That way I know he can't watch me. But he still gets me when I play, and he can still see me. The game is scaring me now. I talked to It talked to me for the first time, not using the text that already in the game. It spoke to me. It talked to me. It's reference Ben. It talked to me. I don't know what it means. I don't know what it wants. I never wanted this. I just want my old life back. Stuff like this doesn't happen to people like me. I'm just a kid, not even old enough to drink yet. It's not fair. I just want to go home. I want to see my parents again. I'm so far away from home at this school. I just want to hug my mom again. I just want to forget that statue's horrible blank face. My original game file is back, just the way as I left it before it was gone. I don't want to play anymore. I feel like something bad's gonna happen if I don't. But that's impossible. It's a game. Haunted or not, it can't hurt me. Right? Like, seriously though, it can't. Right? That's what I keep telling myself. But every time I think about it, I'm not so sure. Post 4, September 12th, 2010. Let me clear things up. I don't know if you guys were worried about, but Josiable is okay. He finished moving out today, and he said that he's going back home. He's just taking his semester off, and I'm not really sure what happened. I have a roommate, and I'm Josiable's roommate, and obviously I knew something was wrong with him for a few days now. He stayed in his room all the time, fell out of contact with literally all of his friends, and I'm pretty sure he hadn't been eating anything, hardly anything. After the second day, I couldn't stay there anymore, so I've been crashing at a buddy's place, only coming into my room to get my stuff that I needed. I tried to talk to him several times, but he would cut me off or keep his conversation brief. I asked him about his strange behavior. It's like he was convinced something was hunting him. Yesterday, I came to grab my philosophy book, and he approached me, looking awful. Horrible bags under his eyes. He handed me a flash drive and gave me specific instructions. He told me he needed me to do one last favor for him. He finally explained to me what had been going on. He gave me his account info to his YouTube account and told me that he's getting away from here. That he shouldn't. That it lured him to play it again instead of trying to change things. It happened. I told him that he could do it himself when he got this wild look in his eye, and told me that he is never looking at the game again. That's the last thing he said to me. He never even said bye when his parents came to pick him up. I never even got to meet his parents. I can honestly tell you what happened. When he spoke, it was kind of hard to understand him, and his fucked up appearance really distracted me. On the flash drive, there was this footage of this game last night. A text document with his name, password for YouTube, and a third document called thetruth.txt, containing what he had told me were his notes. He called truth.txt, containing and he told me that he meant everything to tell him that I followed his instructions exactly normally. I wouldn't be so to the letter for his request over a fucking video game. But the way he spoke and the way he looked made me know that it was really serious. And I am going to honor that. I had this video since yesterday, but I had to have someone help me use principle, and that's not really my forte. After watching it, I had to go back through and look at his other videos on YouTube account to realize that was going on. And even then, I'm really confused that the video I'm releasing tonight, truth.txt, will be released on September 15th, just like he requested. I haven't dared to peek at it yet, so the first time I see it will be the first time you see it. It's out of respect of my friend. To answer your questions, no, I haven't tried to call him yet. I think I'll give him a call tomorrow to see if he's okay or not. He should have gotten back home by now. About this video, in this video, cut straight to where he loaded the bin file in the game. Looking back, I realized that Jodiasbull left the game select screen, and because it said something different names now, so I'm bad for that. I'm bad for that. But all it said this time was the same thing at the end of the last video: Link and Ben. Nothing different. I wasn't there when he played it, but it looks to me like it's beginning when he first spawns. He's testing out his equipment, of seeing what items he has, or because apparently they randomly changed before. Then before I just think that the game got too personal for him. Post 5, September 15, 2010. Hey guys, Jawsiable here. This will be my last time you'll be hearing from me, and this is my final gift to you. These are the notes that have been taken, and then realization I made before I dive into this. I want to thank you for following me and thanking you for listening. It feels like the weight of a powerful burden is like about to be lifted. But this time, you read this and I won't be around anymore. But after spending 4 days making this maddening game, I have begun to understand what's really at play here. And hopefully, after reading this, we can ensure that this will never happen again.